Have you ever considered having a business of your own? Having your own business is a dream held by many people who wish to set their own schedules, do what they love, and utilize their skills and experience to make a living. Although starting a business can be risky, it can also be one of the most rewarding experiences of a lifetime. Being prepared and devoting your time and effort in making your business succeed are keys to profitability and personal satisfaction. Hello, I'm your host, Ruben Ramos. On today's special called Tips on Starting a New Business, founder and principal of the executive coaching group, Trisha Scudder, will join me as we discuss the tips on launching a new business. Welcome to the show, Trisha.
Thank you, Ruben. Thank you for having me on your show. And I'm excited about sharing my business knowledge with all the viewers, especially those people who want to start a new business.
Well, I'm glad that you made it to our show. I thank you very much for taking time from your busy schedule being with us today. And before we get into the topic of starting a new business, let's start with you. Please tell us about your background.
Well, I had a career in advertising. I was a creative director in New York. And here I had this big job, but I realized I didn't know how to manage people. I didn't know how to lead people. And I needed help. So on the QT, I secretly hired someone to teach me about leadership and management. And I got so fascinated with what I was learning and the difference it made in my results and my team's results, our clients' results. And I felt like this was a calling to learn this, apprentice with people who were inventing this new field called business coaching and executive coaching. And I did that. And here it is 24 years later, after I started that business, executive coaching group in New York and Charlotte, and we have coached hundreds of business owners and business leaders.
Wow, that's
and I
fantastic.
Love it. I love it. I was born to do this.
Wow, that's a remarkable background, Trisha. And I know that on today's topic on starting a new business, a lot of people out there contemplate of opening up their own business. They want to break away from corporate America. You hear in the news about layoffs and downsizing. But a lot of people, when they think about opening up their own business, they have these high expectations. Sometimes they could be a little bit unrealistic. Can you tell us what illusions people have before opening their new business?
Well, one of the illusions that I hear most often is you'll be your own boss, as if, you can come in anytime you want and you can just, phone it in from the beach. You have many bosses. When you have your own business, you have your customers and clients that you have to please and deliver for. You have your employees that you have to motivate and train and give opportunity to. You have your vendors you have to have a strong relationship with and treat right. Perhaps a board, investors, your community. So and the bills to pay. So you have definitely many bosses. It's not the picnic that people with that illusion think. Another illusion I hear is that, you can just write a paycheck any amount to yourself. I don't know where people get that idea, as if, the money just grows on a tree. No, you have to earn that money. And then people will say, you can just write it off. Buy this, you can just write it off. Well, that's crazy. A more sophisticated illusion is that having a passion for what you do, maybe a passion to have your own accounting firm, a passion for opening up a hair salon, designing clothes, opening a restaurant, being a consultant, taking the knowledge you have, maybe you learned a terrific profession and in the corporate world, and now you want to go out on your own and start your business. Having the passion is not enough. In fact, it can be a pitfall. I'll tell you a story about a client of mine that illustrates this pitfall that it can be. She'd had her business for 2 years. She was a marketing consultant. She'd done that in a corporation. Now she had her own business doing this. And she was so proud of how committed she was to the business and to her clients that she was working till 10 and 11 every night. She was commuting home, coming back, early in the morning, be back there at 8:30 in the morning. During this time, she got a divorce. She stopped going to the gym. She wasn't eating in a healthy way. And when she became my client, I said, Sharon, you're confusing sacrifice with commitment. They are two different things. They're not the same. They're two different things. You are very committed to this business, but that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice. And as we worked together, she said, I realize I've been wanting to prove to myself, to my clients, to my family, how committed I am by how much I'm willing to give up, how much I'm willing to lose. So where was this headed? This was not headed in a good way. So she turned it around. She gave that up. And she turned it around by also making a declaration. And the declaration was, the more difference I make to my clients, the more money I earn. Now that gets right to the poor me sacrifice. That kills that, because it starts raising the question, if you're not being paid much, Sharon, then are you really contributing much to your clients? And vice versa. The more value you provide for people, the more they will want to work with you, and the more they will pay for it. So now she switched that so that now it was in harmony, her being well taken care of by the business and her clients being well taken care of by the business. It wasn't a conflict anymore. Now both would happen.
I see.
Yes.
So she kind of found a balance between the two, and that's what she needed to do to be...
that both would thrive, not either or. Yes,
I see.
not either or.
I see. And that example of her finding that level of success, what type of individuals should consider opening up a new business?
Well, as you probably gathered from the examples and everything I've said, hardworking, determined, resilient, someone who's able to generate, from a cold start, because you start a business, it's like the coldest engine there ever was. You have to have the world, which is perfectly happy without you and your business, has to be woken up to do business with you. So you have to be resilient, determined, hardworking, and able to generate. And what I've noticed is the business transforms you. I didn't have all the qualities necessary at all to be a business owner. I was shy. Well, too bad. Trisha, you can't be shy. You've got to do interview shows like this. You have to go to networking events. You have to call people, call strangers, and ask them to meet with you. So you have to get over being shy. If you're no good at finances, well, too bad. You have to learn. If you're a business owner, you have to be responsible for that. You might be very independent and not like to ask people for help. Well, get over that too, because if you want to succeed quicker, you're going to have to ask people for advice, coaching, introductions, help in many ways, their expertise, their knowledge. If you're a person who believes, I do it the best of anyone, I do it the right way, no one can do it the way I can do it, well, then you've got to give that up too, because otherwise you're going to stay small, a one-man band, and you'll never be able to hire employees and trust them and delegate to them, and you'll have high turnover. So you have to get over that as well. Starting a business, making it successful, it will transform you. That's part of the excitement and the journey of having a business, is all that you learn. And if you let it teach you through the ups and downs of it, you will transform as a person, and I think a better person.
Yes, and Trisha, you touched upon an area in which individuals who launch their own business, they don't necessarily have the skill sets in making their business successful. Like you said, they don't get those involved. They don't teach themselves enough what needs to be known to make their business a success. Can you tell us what skill sets entrepreneurs need to have to launch a successful business?
We work with a tool called the 4 pillars of success, and it covers a lot of ground to answer your question. The 4 pillars are having integrity, relationships, existence, and enrollment. These 4 pillars, if an entrepreneur develops those, I'm not saying that the entrepreneur has to have it before they start the business, but if through coaching, through their own journey, through having good mentors, if they develop these, then the odds of success will be much greater. So integrity meaning honoring your word, because your reputation in the community, in the business world, with your employees, will all be based on, do you do what you say you're going to do? Honoring your word. After integrity, then relationships. Are you a person who can generate new relationships? Can you sustain and grow existing relationships with customers and vendors and your board of directors and your investors and the wider community? All of that is going to help you have a business that's thriving and has many, many clients and many people hoping and working for your success. The third area is existence, which is a bit of an unusual way to use this word, but existence meaning putting your goals, your results, your commitments, all in physical existence. So if I promise something to a client, it's not in my head, I'm trying to remember it, but I've kept that commitment, and that whole project is in physical form, so my team and I know what the milestones are. We know at all times if we're on track to deliver what we promised for that client. So keeping our word in physical existence also allows you to stay in reality. A lot of entrepreneurs fall asleep in a way. They get so busy delivering their accounting practice or running the restaurant or dealing with their clients that they stop putting their eye on the ball, and next thing they know, suddenly there are no revenues next month. So if you keep these in physical existence and keep monitoring your the numbers, you can't go to sleep that way. And then the last quality is enrollment. A successful business owner has to be somebody who can speak of a possibility to a new customer, to a potential hire, to an investor, to the newspaper or television, in a way that inspires them to act, inspires them to join the company, inspires them to put money into the investment, or inspires them to become a customer. So being able to enroll people, not twist their arm, not persuade them or convince them, but enroll them because you're talking about something that would benefit them, a possibility that inspires them. So those 4 qualities, integrity, relationship, existence, and enrollment, we have found are 4 pillars that are necessary for success.
I see. And a lot of people out there who contemplate in opening up their own business, they're very concerned about risk, finance. And if anyone is considering in opening up a business, should they enter or launch their own business on their own, or should they get a partner?
Well, I launched Executive Coaching Group originally with a partner. Well, it was funny. I had a partner in Los Angeles, and yet I started the business in New York. He started his in Los Angeles, but because we knew we weren't alone, we had somebody we could email every day who cared about how we were doing. It just gave us that extra confidence. And then about 2 years later, I said, wait a minute. I built this business by myself in New York. And I realized that in a